Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we'll be discussing a new report from the US intelligence community that offers insight into Russian influence operations. This report comes after November's midterms, where concern about Russian meddling in the US election process was less pronounced than it had been in the last two presidential elections, but still evident. The report, from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, finds that the Kremlin has been using increasingly clandestine methods to penetrate the Western information environment. Moscow, the intelligence agency believes, will continue to use these methods to strengthen their ties with individuals in the media and in politics, in order to carry out future influence operations. The report also notes that Russia is working to surpass the threshold of certainty and has been able to hide their hand behind a vast ecosystem of Russian proxy websites, individuals, and organizations. This all comes while tensions in relations with the US and other Western powers remain strained, as Russia continues to develop long-range nuclear-capable missiles. So how will the United States be able to defend itself against Russian influence operations? What more can be done on the part of the US government, and how should individuals respond to new information and potential foreign information operations? We'll be exploring these questions and more in this video. First, let's take a look at how Russia is attempting to interfere in the US electoral process. In the past, Russia has used social media to spread partisan anger and erode trust in the electoral process, and researchers have also identified Russian efforts to sow discord during the midterms. The FBI and Department of Justice in 2022 were warning of foreign actors likely to spread disinformation before and after Election Day. The report from the ODNI is more than just a warning, it is telling of the firm belief that Russia sees US elections as an opportunity to further its own foreign policy goals. Russia feels it can increase its influence over us by cultivating relationships between its citizens and American political and media figures. We'll need to look at what President Putin did during the 2016 election, and the fact that Trump tried to discredit his own intelligence agencies in order to accept Putin's claim that Russia had not meddled in the election. It appears that Trump was willing to trust Putin's word over the words of his own countrymen. The 2023 report issued by the ODNI was even harder and more certain in its warning about Russian election meddling than previous reports. It is likely that Russia will continue to use its clandestine methods in order to gain more control over the Western information environment, manipulating content to benefit themselves. So with that said, what more can we do to ensure that US elections remain free and fair? Well, the US government must do more to secure its systems against potential foreign interference, as well as look at ways to ensure that these systems are not vulnerable to manipulation or exploitation. At the same time, there are things we as individuals can do to remain informed and vigilant against potential deception. It's important to be aware of foreign influence campaigns, examining sources and taking information with a grain of salt. Just because it comes from overseas doesn't necessarily mean it isn't true, but it's wise to approach information with a critical eye when it comes from unknown or unfamiliar sources. Ultimately, it comes down to staying informed and being cautious about the information we take in. By exercising caution when it comes to verifying sources, we can go a long way towards protecting ourselves from hostile influence operations from abroad. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you'll stay tuned for more informative videos like this one.